Good morning, Tuesday morning, December 16th. 9 days till Christmas. And how crazy is that? We are super excited to we're going to have a great show today. Good things happening. Krystal Parker from U.S. Christian Chamber of Commerce will be with us later in the show. Just going to be a lot of fun. It is that time of year. We are excited. Live. It's great to be live across the network. Of course, I wanted to tell you guys something because it came up in my information today as I was getting ready to do the show today. I was prepping for the show, and if you're anything like me, you like have notes, and you realize that this is 4 months since we came up. Basically, the concept, not even the first show. Then it was once a week, pretty much through the month of September, and we started 3 days a week in October, and then started in November live on the app. And it's just been fun. We started on radio, for those of you that don't know or weren't a part of what we were doing back then. We started on the radio station I own in Alabama, and then it just grew. And so the morning break has morphed into this experience 3 days a week. This week, 4 special edition on Friday. You're going to want to check that one out. It is going to be a very cool show talking about a country, of course, in a lot of need, and that is Haiti. We're going to talk about that on the special Friday edition of the morning break. Like I said, 9 days. Listen, I've got my coffee. I'm ready. Great folks, 7 Weeks Coffee. They are amazing. You've heard me talk about it almost since the start of the morning break. And if you've not personally experienced small batch roasted coffee, you're missing out. And you need for sure to check out the great folks at 7 Weeks Coffee. 7weekscoffee.com. Use the promo code ATV10 when you order. Their stuff is incredible. And I'm gonna give a shout out to my wife, and I talk about this often. My wife goes, "No, Rob, don't," just because she was the one that got in contact with them, set the whole situation up with the Abundant TV network. And she said, "I'm going to order some coffee." This was before we even decided to take them on as an advertiser, because we always like to check out everyone that advertises on the network. And my wife said, "So what do you want?" I said, "Well, just give me a dark roast coffee. I'm good with that. That's my thing. It's my jam. I love it." My wife goes, "No, we're not going to do this." And you should always listen to your wife. My wife ordered the 4-pack. It's a variety pack from everything from light roast, breakfast roast, and they did have the dark roast in there. I will tell you this, no matter which one you pick, they're awesome. They are awesome, all with a little different feel. Some have some more lighter notes to their coffee. I personally like a dark roast coffee. I do that. 7 Weeks Coffee. Use the promo code ATV10 when you order. We appreciate it. They appreciate it. Time for our my-snackies.com look in. We are at Deerfield Beach in Florida, and our my-snackies.com look in looks like it looks beautiful in Orlando, in Florida. Seriously jealous. It is not like that here. In fact, we're going to be excited today to get over 32 in Toledo. By the way, you're probably too late now to order for Christmas, but what about your New Year's Eve party? Hey, listen, my-snackies.com, they are your hookup. No matter what you do, you can have My Snackies as part of your favorite party as we head into the new year. They are a Christian-owned company, and you need to check them out, my-snackies.com, and the look-in cam from Deerfield Beach in Florida. Looks amazing. I wished I was there right now. And if I were there right now, I would be eating something chocolate covered, because, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, December 16th is National Chocolate Covered Day. It says you can cover anything in chocolate, which I totally agree with. But they went through a list of some stuff, and all of those were like, the normal things like peanuts. And the one that and it's something that is just fairly recent for me, and that is Rice Krispies. Chocolate covered Rice Krispies. Dip that chocolate into the fountain. But if you're like me too, though, and this is no shade on people that do this, I really don't like doing chocolate fountains with other people because they like put their hand in there and stuff. And I don't know if they wash their hand. But if I'm home and we're doing a chocolate covered, a fountain thing, yeah, it's fun. Out, not so much. I'm just saying. Just my thing. Hey, if you are thinking of getting something for the holidays, we are down to the final minutes. And in fact, most places don't guarantee any longer to deliver on time. So, according to experts, here are some great things to get, and they're kind of like common sense. But if you're in panic mode and you don't know what to do, gift cards are number one, which I like gift cards. I get gift cards and I give gift cards for Christmas. Number two, subscription boxes where the first box comes in January, and I get that too. And then experiences like a massage or something like that, tanning. They suggested all kinds of stuff. It is super good ideas. You are into panic mode, 9 days till Christmas. What you gonna do? You're gonna need coffee when we come back. Krystal Parker from the U.S. Chamber of Commerce will be with us. You, my friends, are watching The Morning Break. Oh, there's that, and that's what I wanted there. How about that?
Behind every precious life, there was a choice. Behind every family moment, behind every special memory, there was a choice. A life of joy. A life that is beautifully and wonderfully made. At 7 Weeks Coffee, we are funding the pro-life movement, one cup at a time. Will you let your coffee serve a greater purpose?
Great, folks. 7 Weeks Coffee. Use the promo code ATV10 when you order. We appreciate it. I like the cactus. I don't know why that's in there. It's in there actually for something else, and I need to take it out. I need to take that stuff out. But time for us to one more look. Deerfield Beach and the My-Snackies look-in cam. Doesn't that look incredible? I do. I want that so much. I do. I want to be there. Hey, this is exciting. A great interview. I think this is gonna be a great interview because she is so much fun and just great to be around. Krystal Parker from the U.S. Christian Chamber of Commerce is with us today. Do you know where Deerfield Beach is?
It is south of me about 3 hours, and I'm on the Atlantic side though, so I'm just north of Deerfield Beach. Yep.
That was like. I'm like, that is, I could be there right now. It is like cold. I don't know the exact temperature currently here, but earlier today, this morning, it was 21 degrees. So,
Ooh, yeah. Yes. I mean, and just even looking, it's so tranquil and just amazing. Even if it's cold on the beach, it's a great day on the beach. I have to tell you, you can't go wrong.
Oh, completely. I'm like that. It's gorgeous there. And so, okay. So what is the thing that you like that is that you can dip in chocolate, or what is your favorite chocolate color covered item?
Well, I mean, I'm that person. My finger, I'm going to dip my finger in that chocolate fountain because nothing tastes as good as my finger covered in chocolate. I'm thinking there is nothing that could go wrong if it's covered in chocolate. I will eat it. I love chocolate. And then you pairing that with 7 Weeks Coffee. My goodness, if I hadn't been on my third cup today, I'd be joining you for another round.
Oh, and it's great coffee, and if you like small roast coffee, it's fantastic. But
Mm,
something that's fantastic, and I'm super excited to be a part of, is the U.S. Christian Chamber of Commerce. And Krystal, she leads it up. In fact, I love her tagline. If you don't follow her on LinkedIn, you should. Business is her sport. That's
yeah.
her thing, and she is the president of the U.S. Christian Chamber of Commerce. Tell everybody, if this is now, we run the ad and it actually runs a lot during my show, but tell everybody about the U.S. Christian Chamber of Commerce.
Well, thank you. Christian Chamber is exactly what it sounds like. I mean, chambers of commerce have been around for hundreds of years. It's a proven model for doing business, gives people access in their city to networks, experts, resources. Chambers work. And Christians, we do business a little different than the world does. And we do it with the insight from the Holy Word of God. Our mission is advance the kingdom of God through the marketplace. So we want to use our businesses. We want to be good stewards of what God's given us. We want to advance the kingdom. We want to strengthen Christian business. And we want to see cities transformed and lives. It's what we do. This is
So
how we chamber, Rob.
I know. Tell everybody kind of the because I know the story, because Krystal and I have known each other for a couple of years.
Mhm.
But tell everybody how you kind of came to the idea of doing the U.S. Christian Chamber of Commerce.
Well, I was a Sunday Christian for my whole life. And what I mean by that is I would show up on Sundays for church, check off the box, and then leave and just completely forget about it, other than next Sunday when my duty called to go to church again and check the box. I didn't have any relationship with the Lord. I called myself a Christian. I was extremely successful and blessed in oil and gas, a Fortune 200 company. And that whole time, I am running several employees and contractors in the role that I was in, calling myself a Christian, knowing now, looking back, reflecting on it, I know people looked at me and said, if that's a Christian, I don't want anything to do with Christianity, because there was no fruit. There was no fruit for what I was saying. I had no prayer life. I had no reading life in the Bible. I saw Christianity as a duty instead of a relationship. And so in doing so and chasing power and money and putting everything, where God should be in my life, there was a lot of disaster that followed with that. A trail of dead bodies, if you will, Rob. I think I could say that here. And, when I finally surrendered my life to Christ fully, after a number of poor decisions, I finally said, okay, if this stuff is real, God, I'm in, I'm all in. And the living water of Jesus just washed me clean, Rob. And so I realized I never want to do business without Christ in my life. I understood what it meant to abide. And so I'm like, how do I do that as a business owner? Business is my sport. It's what I do. God gifted me in that way. And so I was like, how do I do it with Christ? I never had a model for that. I didn't even know what that meant. I didn't know if you could. And somebody suggested, check out the Christian Chamber in Central Florida. And I said, that's a thing? Christian Chamber? I knew chambers. My first board I ever sat on, I was 32 years old. I sat on the board for the El Paso Chamber of Commerce. And so I knew a chamber and I knew God, and somebody put them together. And I was like, yes, sign me up. I'm in. And the rest is history.
And that was your start, and now it's super exciting. And there's a bunch I want to talk about, because I want to unpack a whole bunch of different things. But one of the things I do want to get to and start with is your conference that you have coming up next year in April. So we'll go back to some of the other stuff, but I want to talk about this because I think it's important. I'm thankful I get to be a part and hear inside information about this event, but I want you to kind of introduce it to our audience. There are business people that watch this show. They take a break during their morning to watch this, and give them some insight, as this is not just another I wouldn't be interested in if it was just another conference, because you and I have done a ton of conferences in our lives. But this is a special event. It's coming up. Yes, exactly. And it's coming up next year. And I love the name. The name is Yes. It's the Yes Conference that's coming up give everybody some insight into what it's going to be like, where it's going to be, and we'll go from there.
All right. So first of all, let's get to Florida. Okay. Orlando, Florida, you can get to any beach within an hour drive. So we're going to get you out to Florida in April. And the great thing about this conference is we're being very sensitive to business owners, business travel. I put myself in the shoes of what kind of conference would I like to attend? First of all, I don't want to get home at 12 and 1 o'clock in the morning on Friday or not be able to travel till the next day. Maybe I want to bring my family and have a great weekend. So we're wrapping this conference at 12:30 on Friday, the 24th of April. That's really important because we believe in the power of family relationship and that we are human beings. So we're in Orlando. Conference is yes and. It's going to be fire. We're billing this as an immersive conference experience. This is not one, if you're looking for a place to mentally check out, go to a conference, maybe show up, not show up, or just space out. Just skip this one because I'm telling you, you're going to be on your toes, actively engaged. We want to hear from the people that are in attendance. We're doing 100-person think tanks that are going on. No boring panels in these rooms. We're calling them labs. They're immersive labs, leadership labs. We're going to cover 5 main issues that impact Christian businesses today. And there's no screens in there. We are not doing death by PowerPoint. We are really want to hear from people. We want your feedback on issues impacting Christians in business. How are we going to solve those issues? And if we get it right, AI, currency, policy, unity, faith, and work. If we get these things right, what's our big opportunity? And so that's just one element is the think tanks. People are really excited about that. Those are filling up right now. But this conference is just something different than you've ever experienced. Some of the best leaders in the world, in the globe, it's global, will be in the room. You want access.
And I think that you and I know this because we've done a lot of conferences. Mm-hmm. And sometimes what you said just made me grin because and Kristen doesn't like me telling on her, but I'm going to do it. We did an event a couple of years ago and literally, and it was nothing. It's not one we've ever talked about. So I'm not throwing shade on any event that we've talked about, but we hid in our room because we got to a point where we're like, I'm done peopling for today. Yes. And it was because I love what you said about giving time and giving space. And it got to a point where it was just, I felt the whole time like I was on being sold.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, yeah. I'm so glad you said that because that's something I'm really sensitive about. So first of all, speakers are not selling from stage, number one. They're giving of their time, they're imparting their wisdom regarding the theme, yes, and we can talk about that. The other thing is when I designed this conference, the breakouts, the flow, the movement, it's really designed for an introvert to be able to get networking opportunities that are natural. I am the type of person, and I'm just going to tell myself, people are like, you're an introvert. Yes, I am. But I'm the type of person, I will show up in a room and it'll be like one of those focal points, like just spin around that moment. I never move into the room anywhere, just stand right there. Like, I don't know if it's just out of fear or what, but we want to intentionally move the flow of the conference, and those labs are pivotal moments to really create intentional networking. The other great thing about the labs I'm excited about is when you see somebody or meet somebody in the lab, maybe you're going to hear somebody like Rob and you're like, that guy's hilarious and smart. I want to know him. And so we're moving from labs into lunch, and we've got a lot of space.
By the way, nobody ever says that. So
Krystal's
just being really nice.
I would expect all the audience people watching right now are like, no, listen, it is true. You're hilarious and smart. And so we're moving into lunch, which is a really great seamless opportunity to make some connections right there. The other part is the second lab that you're going to get to be a part of is moving into dinner. And so we're just intentionally flowing. The other thing from stage, we're not doing boring. I didn't mean to say boring. We're not doing panels.
Most panels are boring. We can on my show we can say that because I've been a part of some really boring. Literally, there's a picture of me on my Facebook, and I'm on a panel, and I'm looking heavenward like I'm praying Jesus is coming.
Well, I'm a people watcher, right? Part of my what I love doing. And so I watch people during panels. And so I watch the audience. Never thought about watching the panel members, wish Jesus was coming, but I watch the audience. And I feel like every time panels come up, people use that as an opportunity to check their phone, go through the social media, post their pictures, whatever. And so we're not doing that. We're doing apologetics under fire. And so what we want to do at this conference in these moments of bringing, 3 to 4 people on stage, nobody's sitting, they're standing, they're talking about issues that Christians in business face and giving you objections that they have heard. So they're going to be answering objections about how to, let's just say, for example, praying before meetings, even when your client is not a Christian, or praying for the business. And they're going to rapid fire how they've dealt with objections, or Christians serving in the community outside of the workplace. So how do we deal with that? Because one of the things I've noticed too about conferences, as you go to a conference, you're fired up, you're pumped up. I'm ready to go. I want to go be like Christian on fire, blaze a trail. I'm bold. I'm standing up. I'm in meetings. I'm ready to go. And then boom, you get your first objection. That's it, done. And that objection may come at home, Rob. And so you've got to be ready and prepared for objections so that when you go out there, you realize I'm not alone. There's going to be 750 CEOs from around the globe that are going to be on fire to stand up, stand boldly for Christ, say yes to God, and take that step of faith even when they can't see the next step.
So I want to ask you this question, and we're going to get back to the conference. And by the way, this is my invitation on the air so that you can't say no. I want you to come back maybe next month and we talk more about this because there's so much I want to talk about. Okay. But I want to ask the question and see what you say about this. How do you balance? Because you have your daughter is, of course, off at school right now, but you've had a daughter at home. You're married. How do you balance being like you said, business is your sport. You're like I am. So how do you balance that? Because I've really had to be careful. And I got married, and everybody that watches the show knows the story. Both Chris and I got married late in life. And so we were all work. I mean, literally last night, Kristen's running a thing for court last night at like 8:30. How do you shut it off and how do you get the balance?
Well, I can tell you how I did it pre-surrender of my life and post. So there was no balance. It was all about me. And it was all about my career, my this, my that. And I felt like everything was on my shoulders. It was up to me. And you've heard this saying, if it's meant to be, it's up to me. And I really felt that way. The pressure on that was insurmountable. I remember one point even telling my mom, as an executive at 32 years old for the Fortune 200 company, I remember telling her, Mom, there's a lifespan to this. I am not going to live beyond. That's why they get paid major, major money, because they give their entire existence. You cut them, they bleed the color of their logo. That's just what they do. And there is no balance. And there's a lot of fallout as it related to that. So one was my first marriage. And then becoming a solo parent to a little girl, right? And so I had to really learn at that point, like, what's really important here. And so it's evolved. Now I realize it's not up to me if it's meant to be. I'm called to be out there. I'm an entrepreneur. It's one of those things, I'm sure you've said it or heard it before, we don't eat it if we don't kill it. And that's just how it goes in our house. We bring it home and we fry up that bacon. And that is what works in our home. However, what I've realized and what I've learned, Rob, it's not up to me. I'm to be obedient to the calling of my life. I'm going to go work. And I'm going to work within boundaries and parameters. And then if I can't close it up, if I can't close down and stop and put the main thing, which is my family and my relationship with the Lord, then I'm wearing too much ownership over something that isn't intended to be mine.
Yep. Oh, that's so it. And I think that's the big key thing. Give them the times and where it's going to be for our conference coming up for the U.S. Christian Chamber of Commerce.
Okay, so April 22nd through the 24th, 2026, Orlando, Florida. And here's the really cool thing. Rob said, Christmas presents. Come on, prices are increasing. We're a third sold out. So prices are going to increase in January. This is one of those presents you can get and say, I love you. I care enough about you. I want you there with me. Let's go to this conference. And here's another great thing about this conference, easy to find. Orlando, Florida, April 22nd through the 24th. Grab them as Christmas presents. You can find everything you need to know about this at uschristianchamber.com. uschristianchamber.com.
That's it. We're going to have Krystal back next month because she agreed on air. Everybody knows it, and she won't be a liar. So we'll have her back next month. When we come back, my final thoughts. Well, you heard from Krystal. It's going to be a great event next year. You can't beat Orlando. And what a great idea. Make it your Christmas gift for maybe that entrepreneur or that business owner in your family. Say, hey, listen, I'm going to send you to Florida. I mean, that would be an awesome gift. Going to Florida is just awesome, even when it's not a gift. Hey, listen, a lot of cool things going on in the Christmas themed world as we get ready to close out today's show. Did you hear about this, though? Of course, everybody's watched the movie Home Alone. You've watched at least once, maybe more. But the home itself is getting a complete restoration, and they are restoring it back to look like the 90s movie. So that's one of the things going on. The other neat thing that I saw, and I saw the video for this, and for the life of me could not find how to get clearance from the TV network that had it. But in Raleigh, North Carolina, this whole block, they got together and created their own light show. And now the neat part about this, and you say, well, Rob, a lot of places have light. My planned community has light shows. Yeah, I know, and that's true. All that is very true. But this whole street, all the lights are wired together, and it plays the same song. You can listen from the start of the street to the end of the street, and it's the same song. How cool is that? I mean, that to me is amazing. Just super, super exciting. Great day. Krystal Parker, U.S. Christian Chamber of Commerce. Thank you so much for being with us. The Yes and Conference coming up next year in Florida, Orlando. Now, she didn't mention it, but you could go to Disney if you didn't want to go to the beach. I'm not a Disney person, but we'll talk about that some other time. Hey, man, it has been a great day. Thank you so much for making the morning break what it is, because without you, it really isn't the same. Hey, listen, go out and live an amazing day. You've taken your break. Now it's time for you to get back to work.